What's up, people? This is Hubert from Fitness Uncomplicated, where we make fitness simple for you. Today, we're going to get into 5 lies about fat. Let's do it. Now, I'm pretty sure all of us know about the bad rap that fat has in the fitness industry. Whether you're someone who's all about fat-free, or if you're someone who's on a keto diet, or if you're someone who's into body positivity. Lie number 1 is that fat is bad. Fat is not bad or good. It's simply one of the macronutrients that we use to build our body. Number 1 is the fact of we have fat, 2 types of fat. Those 2 types of fat are saturated and unsaturated. What's the difference? Saturated fats are the ones that we typically find in our processed foods and fast foods, whether you're talking about cheeseburgers, potato chips, crackers, so forth and so on. They make foods taste pretty good, and they also make those food last a lot longer. The other type of fat that we have is unsaturated fat. Those fats are the fats that we typically see in nuts, avocados, and fish. Those fats are the more healthier and the better option as far as fats. Now, the whole thing is, it's a matter of how much of each fat that you want to have. Now, when it comes to fat, you want to stay with the 90-10 rule. The 90-10 rule basically is this, is that you want about 90% or more of your fats to come from unsaturated fats, such as from nuts, avocados, and fish. You'll allow about 10% at max of your fats to come from saturated fats, which would be allow you to have a few snacks, chips, cookies, and every now and again hit the drive-through if you're on a road trip, okay? Where no one's an angel, no one's perfect, no one is like a saint, so you have to leave room for margin of error. Either way, if you hit 90% right and you get 10% wrong, you still end up with an A. That leads us right into lie number 2 about fat. Fat-free food. Now, when you hear the words fat-free food, you automatically assume that there is absolutely no fat whatsoever in your food, but that's not true. The truth is that by FDA standards, if a food has half or less of a gram of fat per serving, it can count or be labeled as fat-free food. And the whole thing is that as we eat fat-free foods, we think to ourselves, well, it's fat-free, so I'm in the clear, which is not really true, because if you're eating twice as much, 3 times as much, you're adding up the fat. Then the other side effect is that typically fat-free foods tend to be loaded with a lot of sugar. And if it's loaded with a lot of sugar for flavor, then you're gonna be packing on the calories anyway. So you kind of wanna watch yourself when it comes to fat-free food. You're not in the safe, you're not in the clear. You just wanna try to keep it at a moderate amount. Fat lie number 3, overweight equals fat. Now, the misconception is that if you don't fit into the perfect category of height, weight, sex at a certain weight, that you must be fat. Not true. According to statistics, an average man at 6 foot height weighs about 195 pounds. But an average NFL running back weighs about 215 pounds. That would give you the conception that this NFL player is 20 pounds overweight, ergo fat. Obviously, that's wrong if you've ever watched, football. The whole thing is that NFL runner has more muscle mass than the average guy. So what's most important is not so much of how much you weigh, but how much of your weight is body fat as proportion to everything else. Since we're talking about body fat, let's get into fat lie number 4. Weight loss equals fat loss. Now, everyone's done this before where they say, I put on a couple pounds, I need to knock it off, let me go hit the treadmill, let me go start working out, let me start dieting, and they see the weight come off. Maybe in the first few weeks, they see 5 pounds, 10 pounds come off, and they're like, yeah, I'm doing great. That just because you've lost weight on the scale does not mean that you've lost fat, all right? Whole thing is, typically, yes, you will lose some fat with your weight loss, but most of the time when you lose weight, it's not all fat. Majority of the time, especially towards the beginning, a lot of it's gonna be some water weight, all right? Then after that, depending on how you train, if you're training very intensively and not getting the proper nutrition, proper sleep, you might actually end up burning off some muscle. So the whole thing is, when you are looking to do weight loss, be focused on trying to work on fat loss. The best way to go about that is for you to watch your diet, make sure it's not too low, not too high, keep your weight training regular, and keep your cardio training at not such a high pace that you're going to burn off a lot of excess muscle. Fat lie number 5. Not exactly a lie, but more of a misconception. Common misconception is that if you have a six-pack, or the dream is to get to the six-pack body, is that you're automatically going to be in the perfect pinnacle of health. That is not always the case. For some people, hitting a body fat that is too low can have detrimental effects. Effect number 1 that can happen is that you'll have lower energy. Effect number 2 is you have poor recovery from your workouts. Effect number 3 is that you're always cold. Effect number 4 is that you tend to have hormonal issues. Because hormones like estrogen and testosterone are made mostly from fat, we can have different detrimental effects, whether you're a guy or a girl. If you're a guy, it can cause you to have lower levels of testosterone, and if lowest level of testosterone means that you won't have as much virility, and also it can knock off your libido quite a bit. For ladies, it can really throw off your menstrual cycle. So the whole thing is, you really want to be cautious when you go into your dieting. You don't want to go to the full extreme of trying to get so low in fat that it will cause an issue physically. Hopefully this gave you a little insight towards fat. If this video did help you out, like, subscribe, and share with a friend. If you have any questions, comments, or maybe you disagree with me, leave a message in the comments below. Peace.